Hello everyone, I'm Gautami Kota, a fourth year CSM student from Gayatri Vidya Parishad College of Engineering. In this video, we are going to discuss about cache memory, what is it and what are L1 and L2 caches. So let's get into the main content. Let's first understand what exactly is cache memory. You can simply understand it as an ultra fast, super small type of memory built directly into or extremely close to your CPU. You can think of it as your processor's personal assistant storing the most frequently used instructions and data, so your CPU does not waste time fetching them from slower memory. Then, why cache exists? Here is the thing, your CPU is insanely fast. Modern processors can execute billions of operations per second. But there is a problem, which is your RAM, the main memory where your computer stores data. It is so slow to keep up. You can think of it like having the Formula 1 race car that can go 200 miles per hour. But for every few seconds, you have to pull over and wait for someone to walk over with the fuel. That's how your CPU is without cache memory. RAM, which is the main memory, takes about 100 nanoseconds to deliver the data. That might sound so fast, but to a CPU that works in nanoseconds, it's an eternity. That's why engineers created cache memory, a tiny, lightning fast storage right next to your CPU, holding the data that what processor reads right now. Cache is not just one thing. It is the layered architecture and split into levels, and the main ones are L1 and L2 caches. Let's break it down with an analogy. Imagine you are barista in the busiest coffee shop. You need to make drinks. The items you use every second, like coffee beans, milk, espresso machine, are right on your counter. You can grab them instantly. So that's how is your L1 cache is. Smallest, fastest, but limited space. Ingredients you need most often but not constantly, like extra syrups, cups, are on the shelf just a step away. That's how your L2 cache is. Everything else, like bulk supplies, rare ingredients, is kept in the storage room at the back. That's how your RAM is, which is massive but slow to reach. Without L1 and L2 caches, your CPU would be running to the storage room, which is RAM, for every order. That's why these layers help to keep your CPU fast and efficient. Let's zoom into L1 cache, which is the speed king of your CPU. L1 cache sits directly inside each CPU core. It's tiny and the storage is just about 32 to 128 kilobytes per core. For perspective, it is smaller than a single photo on your phone. But that size is its strength. Access time is lightning fast, which is about 1 nanosecond. Now, this L1 cache is again has two parts, which is instruction cache and data cache. Instruction cache stores the command the CPU needs to execute, and the data cache, on the other hand, stores the actual data that is being processed. Why do we need to split L1 cache? It is because your CPU fetches instructions and data at the same time, splitting our bottleneck and keeps the performance smooth. Now let's talk about L2 cache, which is like L1's bigger sibling. L2 cache is comparatively larger in storage when compared to L1 cache, with 256 kilobytes to 8 megabyte storage, up to 64 times larger than L1. It acts as backup when L1 does not have what CPU needs. L2 is slightly slower, which is about 4 to 12 nanoseconds, but it's still faster than the random access memory. Depending upon CPU design, L2 may be dedicated per core or shared between the cores. Shared L2 boosts efficiently for multi-threaded tasks, letting cores communicate without hitting slow RAM. L2 also uses smart replacement policies like least recently used to decide which data to discard when the L2 cache storage is full. Combined L1 and L2 caches deliver a hit rate of 99% or higher, meaning CPU rarely needs to touch the slow RAM to get the data it needs. Coming to the real world impact, why does this matter? Without cache memory, every CPU operation would be slowed down waiting for RAM, making your computer far less responsive. With L1 cache, waiting time drops to just a nanosecond, which is 100 times faster. With L2 backing it up, even cache misses are handled in a few nanoseconds. That's why cache is most expensive investment in your computer. Per megabyte, it costs hundreds of times more than RAM, but it's definitely worth it. Every instant, your game feels smooth. Every video scrubs without lag. Every program compiles quickly. That's cache memory doing its magic. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And if you found this video useful and informative, don't forget to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more such videos. See you in the next video. Bye.